well. And me and John are here for you live in your living room here at 5280archive.com with
Of
John Bollack.
course.
Blitz Room, you you said Mudvayne played there.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Mudvayne rolled in a little panel van. This was
Hmm.
way before they were big. And it
Hmm.
looked like the cats hadn't slept or ate or showered in a week. And Mudvayne comes in and plays the Blitz Room,
Hmm.
the dance hall or whatever that was of a little motel.
Hmm.
And they were Mudvayne. It
Right.
it wasn't the same members as got super famous.
Right.
But yeah, that was awesome.
Right. Okay. You did, you just saw the show. You didn't party with them or
I
anything.
didn't
There
get
was,
to party with them in that. I'm sure that they got one of those rooms that Bruce, what was his name? Bruce, the guy that ran
yeah,
the Blitz
Bruce
Room.
was technically the owner that Bill answered to. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure he got him a room, but I didn't have any interaction with them.
right. Okay.
I wish I was
Um,
more exciting for you, but I wasn't the mover or the shaker.
well, let's get more into who you did rub elbows with because Rogue opened for a lot of nationals.
Yeah,
I remember Merciful Fate. Did you ever rub elbows with those guys?
got to hang out. Didn't get to hang out with King Diamond though. Just the band.
Right.
Um, he didn't really rub elbows with anybody.
Well, I've heard, and I've heard from more than one person, he doesn't do meet and greets, he does a show and leaves.
It was very similar. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The band is awesome,
Hmm.
but that was either Bluebird or Ogden.
Right.
Uh, but it was the typical meet before sound check kind of thing going on. There was no true meet and greet. The meet and greet is new. That's a
Hmm.
fairly new phenomenon.
Right.
I think all the promoters found a way they could make an extra couple $100.
Right. Sure. And, talking about doing that, now I remember I saw a picture of you guys opening up for Tesla.
I got to play with Tesla twice.
Yeah. How was their fan base? How did they respond to you? Because I didn't, I didn't see it.
Rogue is not along the lines of Tesla. Rogue is a little abrasive, but they were not rude. The fan base for Tesla was
Right.
not rude. They were just aloof, maybe is the
Right.
best word.
Well, I can relate to you because I remember Depth Charge. We opened for Stephen Piercy New Year's Eve, '05 at the Grim Reaper that used to be called the Landing Strip. They were really it was a very, very short-lived club. And we were second. Moore went first, Peace, Love, and Destruction went third before Piercy. But I'm just asking myself, why am I here? We don't mix with Rat at all. You know, and to
Now,
be fair, the crowd was not rude to us.
some of the bands that Rogue got to play with, Rogue was a unique band,
Hmm.
and to play with a Tesla or a Static X or
Hmm.
even a Molly Hatchet, just such a variety of bands they're trying to stuff Rogue into, and Rogue was classic metal.
Right. Hmm.
I
Of
mean,
course.
as metal is.
Right.
So yeah, to try to stuff us into a bill with Quiet Riot, who else we play with? Armored Saint,
Right.
Metal Church,
Hmm.
Prong,
Right.
Lynch Mob, and Dawkins. Both of those, I got the George Lynch on both. Well,
Hmm.
I didn't. He wasn't playing with Dawkins at the time.
Yeah, that was somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, my thing is, was any national act a dick to you?
Head PE.
They should not have been.
Everybody says they're awesome, but my interaction with Head PE,
Hmm.
they didn't give a rat's ass about anything that went on with me.
Right.
Super Joint Ritual.
Right.
I love Hank Williams III and
Hmm.
Phil.
Hmm.
I love the guys in Super Joint Ritual. They were cocks to
Right.
Rogue.
Really?
They were just not good people.
Right. Wow.
It's
Yeah.
hard because I gotta realize that they're all
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of a tour or something,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know when you catch them. They could have just gotten word from home that the water heater blew up, or
Right.
you never know why. But those are the two bands where I just had terrible interactions with head PE,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just wasn't good. It wasn't a
Right.
good time.
Right.
And
Now
I think
we
Superjoint called me a poser.
oh boy. Ugh. Yeah, that was an ill-advised comment in my
Truth be
opinion.
told, I was a poser. We had
You
just
know,
dyed our hair jet black, and so I was fairly posery at the time.
oh, okay, so you kind of saw where they were coming from in that respect, but they don't
Unfortunately.
know you. Right. We talked about everybody's preference of the Ogden, Bluebird, or Gothic. I'm going to shift gears with you. What were the best three smaller clubs, or the suburban clubs? If you could pick three to to do, what would you play?
I wish Isle Park Saloon was still running. Had a lot
Right.
of really good times in Isle Park Saloon.
Mm-hmm.
Isle Park catered to the local band like no other, really.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They seemed to pay well, and you could easily put 300 people in that little bar.
Right. Now,
Um,
now, did you ever have to pay cover to go to ILF, or were you just like, "Hey, I'm John from Rogue, let me in"?
I Sometimes I willingly paid the cover, Ty,
Sure.
because that's the only way anybody made any money.
True. True. But I'm just wondering because it's like, we'll get back to the other two venues of your choice in a minute. It's just that, I just didn't know the gravity of being in a band with someone the likes of Bill Terrell. I didn't
It
know that
was
carried anything.
There was times like we got to judge the celebrity strip off at Shotgun Willie's. So there's times where it came with perks,
Right.
but other times I wasn't Bill Terrell. I'm just John.
Right.
So
Sure.
I'm the peon of the band, but I was always the nice guy. I was not
Mm.
abrasive, so that everybody
Mm.
liked me.
Well, of course, for good reason, dude. All right.
Oh.
Name me two other venues.
Well, back to ILIF. Do you remember at ILIF when they had the pit in front of the
Yes.
stage? Back
Yep.
when they had like the three or four booths down
Hmm.
on the dance floor,
Yes,
and
sir.
and then they got rid of that eventually when Rogue was doing all the shows there. There was no pit anymore with the three booths. It was a more like
Hmm.
a anyway. I just remembered that
Right. Yeah, I remember that went away, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like 2000, 99, 2000.
somewhere. It's got to be somewhere in there.
Right.
But they were able to shove in a lot more people then, so that was good.
Right. Now, how was Rogue with with the cover band fans, the cover band circuit? So I remember, Bill at Isle Park on the weekends. He would,
Yeah.
he'd give out a lot of tickets. Did you have relationships with like Riot Act, Witch Doctor, anybody?
We didn't play with any of the cover bands, unfortunately. We
Hmm.
were in the metal scene, so we got a lot of the Drudgeries and the Typhoid
Hmm.
Marys and the Moors and the any of the original bands. But the cover scene and the metal scene in the late '90s were that was oil and water.
Yeah.
They
Some
didn't
people saw it that
mingle.
way.
Now some of the bands will intermingle and get a tribute band with a cover band and an original band on the same.
Right.
They didn't do that in the late
Right.
90s and early 2000s. It was one or the other. And
Right.
original had a stronger foothold than covers did. Covers were 3 nights in a row.
Right.
Original was one night. Saturday night, we're going to blow the doors off and put more people in than can fit in this venue.
Right. Okay. Name me two other venues, and I have a Pinky story for you. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Islet Park Saloon. I loved the original after the Gold Rush.
Right.
That turned into a Mexican dance club now.
Right.
because that apparently is the natural order of things. Once a rock club gets old, it turns into a Mexican dance club.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have the Gold Rush back. I'd love to have Bangles back.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my three bars. I'd love to have Island Park Saloon. That would take care of the east side of Denver.
Right.
You could get the Gold Rush that takes care of the west side, and Bangles is downtown.
Right.
If I could have those three rock bars back and busting butt,
Mm-hmm.
it would be great for what's going on in the Denver scene right now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. As I said, I didn't play any of those places specifically, because in the mid 90s, before 97, I didn't know much of the original scene very much.
Yeah,
And that the first guy I met was actually Mark Grabowski from Corruption. Met him, then I met Keith Spargo, and the evolution went on and on and on. But I have a rogue Pinky story for you. Um,
okay.
all right, I
Rogue
remember
played Pinkies twice, right?
once,
Once, okay,
once.
once.
All right, you guys were like, if I was Captain Ahab and you were my Moby Dick.
No, I think we were
Uh,
just a dick.
no, I was hell bent to get Rogue there. And what's funny, what's funny is that when I was booking them on the bands on the floor, then we turned into the stage. I had to step aside and take care of some personal and family issues, and I really got sick of booking. I got really
That's
tired of it.
it sucks.
Yes, it does. And so part of me wasn't mind missing it, but the owner, God rest her soul, Madeline dealt with Bill Terrell without me.
Hmm.
And Bill wasn't trying, Bill was just, Bill, Rogue had a certain guarantee, which was maintained and all that, but they just kept, Bill just would not commit to a date.
Bill is the
Then,
definition of obtuse, my friend.
right.
Bill is abrasive. That was Bill.
Yeah, it was Bill. But see, here's the thing. When I got back in the picture and, I found out, my boss already gave Bill, a certain percentage up front. Hey, your new job, get Bill and get Rogue booked. I'm like, okay. And Bill told me Madeline tried getting Rogue to open up for the Bullet Boys.
Really?
It- yeah, it and it's like no wonder why Bill was being difficult about this. He's not gonna fucking open up for the fucking Bullet Boys. No fucking way.
In my
Then
later life, Ty, I opened up for the Bullet Boys twice. I think
right,
Bullet Boys played Denver more than we did.
right.
Um, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I had to throw that in.
Okay. Now, were you aware of Mark Torian's scam?
No, tell me.
Okay. All right. When 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 my bosses booked the Billet Boys, Tony and Maddie, their son David, he was in the metal just like us, and he was more in the hair metal. He wanted to book the Bullet Boys, and he did. And we were promised all four original members were going to be there that night, and we only got Mark and three hired guns.
That's how they tour. It's
Yeah,
just him. It's just
that's
him.
that's
That
right,
is Bullet Boys. It's him and his songs.
right.
Um, because I don't think it was the same band twice when I played with them.
Right. Well, the reason I bring this up is because he went up on the stage that night and he simply says, Lonnie, Mark, Lonnie, Mark, and Jimmy, they couldn't commit to this date, but I wasn't going to quit. I wanted to play this show for you tonight. And I later learned from Chris Romero, who was there that night. He didn't tell me specifically. He told me like a couple of weeks later when I crossed paths with him again. He says, "Yeah, that's the scam he's been running for a long time."
He is he is LA metal, didn't quite make it and now has been scrambling to make money for the last 30 years.
Right, and he's entitled.
God bless
He's
him.
entitled to it.
But
Right, but also one other thing is another reason he might be done that the way he did. If you remember Vince Neil when he went solo, how much less money that there was, even though he was still doing Motley Crue songs.
yeah,
So I'm wondering if that ever weighed into it. But I can tell you, after the night the Bullet Boys played Pinkies, I never listened to the Bullet Boys again.
wasn't he the guitar player in Love Hate also
If I'm
back
not
in the day?
mistaken, maybe,
I don't think he
maybe.
was the singer, but he was the guitar player, Love Hate, I think. I
Hmm
think I could be wrong.
Right.
Pinkies, a quick Pinkies thing.
Yeah.
My sister, back in the day, way back in the day, the Pinkies waitresses used to have like shorts with the ass cheeks cut out
Mm-hmm.
and cellophane put over the ass cheeks so you could see their
Uh-huh.
ass cheeks through their shorts. My sister made all those shorts.
Did she really? Oh
Yep,
shit.
my sister sewed the pink pool table skirts.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day when there used to be a road runner and a coyote on a
On the
railroad
rails.
trip,
Rails.
with the had the like the light in the coyote's penis that was chasing the
Mm-hmm.
road. My
Right.
sister sewed those stuffed animals. It's
How
kind of
about
funny
that?
because we're the children of a Methodist minister, and my sister's
Mm,
sewing a coyote penis
go
for
figured.
pinkies. Yeah,
That must have been when keep on Bob and Janet and Pinky's was corporate back then. That was the early '90s, wasn't it?
early '90s, late '80s. Yeah,
Yeah, that was when it was there. The Tallarico family took over in 95, 96,
this was
because
before then. Yeah.
yeah, Pinky sold off piece by piece. But one of the things, one of the things I remember is just that, after Bill told me, "Hey, brother, I'm not going to open up for the Bulletboys," I'm like, "Okay, okay, okay, I understand,"
Bill,
but
oh goodness.
it's like, dude, we need to get a date in.
Yeah.
Then, then I got a threat. I got a threat. Somebody saying I either get the money back or I get my ass kicked.
I was an asshole.
And so I went to Whiskey Bill's, and I'm simply saying, Bill, we need to get a date set up today. Set up. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, I pick all my openers. I'm like, just pick the fucking date, Bill. God damn it. And
Um,
that was the most nervous night of my life because I just didn't know how everything was going to be.
was
Then
that
when I,
Rogue with Devin, right?
that was actually with Kenny.
That was
That
with
was one of,
Kenny.
that was one
Okay,
of Kenny's first.
that's what I'm thinking in my head. That was one of Kenny's first shows.
Right. I remember that. And I was all nervous. And then basically, what do I see? I see Typhoid Mary, if I'm not mistaken, I think EA and the sound guy pulling, pulling a bong pipe behind the curtain. And I'm just thinking, okay, this is going to turn out fine. And I was just
What
all,
could go wrong?
right. Well, I was, after that, it was all downhill for me, in terms of dealing with that. Because I also did monitors. you know, did monitors and sound and all
If
that
you want
jazz.
to have a short life in the scene, be the monitor guy.
Right. Well, I, I
Um,
I did it. I did it for a good year and a half before the live music format changed
yeah,
at Pinky's, and that's a story for when Maris comes and pays us a visit on February 7th.
I'm looking forward to that. I like Maris.
Me too.
I've been a volunteer zombie in his clan two or
Mm-hmm.
three times.
Right. And we'll elaborate further on him, on that. Well, I'll say this. He didn't kill my band, but he made a good friend out of me.
He killed Rogue. He ate my face.
I remember that.
He ate my
Why
face in
wouldn't
the parking lot of the DAV.
Right. And why wouldn't Bill let himself get killed? He had the pussy patrol. I'm like, oh, come on,
That's
Bill.
bullshit. That's bullshit. You're not too good to get eaten by a gay zombie, my friend. You can get eaten with the rest of us.
Right. And it's always just like, oh, Bill, come on,
He
dude.
just didn't want to get his ass eaten because Maris would stuff hamburger down his ass crack and eat his ass.
Yeah, well, Bill does have a point there. Let's say that. Um, let's go to the internet. And
Okay.
I've in these podcasts, I've been, asking people about their views of it. In the mid 90s when we discovered it, did you envision what it would do for music, both better and for worse? What did you think?
I missed the wave, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, the wave is over. There was a wave of internet success that you could get on at the earliest parts of it that Rogue missed on. Well, a
Hmm.
lot of us missed on it. The internet is a valuable tool, and it is a albatross. It is I don't know if it has the same return that it used to. I've almost made full circle, Ty.
Right.
Used to be you stood outside of a major concert with your handbills and handed them out to people as they left the concert. Here, throw this
Mm-hmm.
away for me. Here, throw this away for me. And handed out 1,000 of those, and you hope to get 100 people or 10 people through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the internet came, it caused lazy
Mm-hmm.
because you could just hit invite all,
Right.
click, and send out 100 invitations at once.
Right.
It created lazy musicians,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked out well for about 10 years or 20 years, 10,
Mm-hmm.
15 years. I don't know what the time was, but 15 years you had good success sending out invitations on social
Sure.
media.
Right.
And that has changed back. We've
Mm-hmm.
almost regressed back to face handing a flyer out
Mm-hmm.
and calling you on the phone saying, "Hey, Ty, I really need your support for this show."
Right.
It's almost made it full circle. So it's interesting. It was a powerful tool and it's kind of run its course
Right.
in the underground band scene,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. Because for me, when the internet came out, and I'm like, okay,
Mm.
www, huh? What? There was a little bit of a learning curve to it, for me.
Yeah,
But I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. And the Colorado Metal E-list came out. I signed up for that. And that helped the scene out. I thought a lot in more ways than one. But I remember when Napster came out,
boy,
and
wasn't that a punch in the nuts?
the big thing, and this is an unpopular opinion, and people are welcome to disagree with me. Looking back, I could understand why Lars Ulrich and Metallica were bent out of shape.
I
But
get
their
it.
biggest mistake is that they went after Napster alone.
They lost the public opinion, but they were correct.
Yeah, they were correct.
They
But
were correct
they took a beating.
because everybody was like, "Ooh, free music, LimeWire. Ooh, look at
Right,
me. I got every out." Not knowing you downloaded every virus in the history of computers.
right,
Um, that was because they went right to trial. I think the public perception of Metallica took a major hit. Well, I say major, they're still the biggest band in the history of everything.
sure.
But they took a big hit with that because everybody was just excited for Napster and LimeWire and the things that got us free music.
Mm-hmm,
Little did we know that's cutting our nuts off. You
mm-hmm,
can't make a dollar in this world anymore musically
right,
because of LimeWire and Napster and others.
right. This leads on to like merch sales because you've been in this throughout. You've opened, you've had your run-ins, your drive-bys with Nationals, time with them. Did you ever overhear anything? Boy, we need to sell about $300 tonight, to get gas. Did you hear anything along those lines of how
I
important
lived
merch
that.
sales?
I
Yeah,
lived that.
yeah,
That's the way you get from city to city.
right.
When you're a touring mid-level band, because I don't know the large band world, I don't know Metallica, Bon Jovi world,
Hmm.
but in the mid-level touring band world, that's how you get from city to city.
Right.
If you can sell, hey, we sold 5 discs tonight. Well, that's $100. That's
Hmm.
gas money plus dinner.
Right.
Um, T-shirt sales. Each one of those was you tried to have your T-shirts paid for before you left for tour,
Sure.
so that what you made off of your T-shirt sales was pure profit.
Okay.
If you sold 10 t-shirts at $20 a pop, well, they weren't 20 back then, they were 10.
Hmm.
10 t-shirts at $10 a pop, that's $100. That's gas and a meal for the band.
Right. Hmm.
A merch was the way you survived city to city.
Right. Do you have memories of your time at Milwaukee Metal Fest?
I do.
And
Um,
there's one thing about that. The question was, would you have done it again? Was it worth it? Was Jack Koshik? Did it seem shady? We're
I,
listening.
I never met anybody involved with it.
Hmm.
We showed up and played our set and walked around. My views on Milwaukee Metal Fest were that is the largest festival that I was a part of before I witnessed things like Ozfest. That was
Sure,
Ozfest before Ozfest.
sure.
Um, we were small fish in a big ocean at that
Hmm.
show.
Right.
We played oh, what's the name of the record label? I just lost it. Revolver. We played the Revolver stage
Mm-hmm.
uh, just before or after Cephalic Carnage, one of the two, but
Right.
where there's no crowd for us.
Right.
So you're little fish in a great big ocean at that show. There's so much going on, three
Mm-hmm.
or four shows at the same time going on all the time. We played opposite OTEP, I think Rogue did. You know how many people you have in front of you when OTEP is playing? None. It's
Mm-hmm.
OTEP.
Right. Sure.
Um, uh, it was the largest indoor festival I've ever witnessed.
Right.
Who-
No. Okay. Let me get around to doing that because Infectious Records, I got a show at the Bluebird out of it.
Yeah,
So, I don't have any bad experiences with it whatsoever. I have to admit, I didn't understand the business model of Infectious Records. What did you know
nobody
of it?
did. Only Bill Terrell did.
Right.
That was a brainstorm between Bill and Dave Zaharia, I think.
Right. Hmm.
Um, and it was nothing more than a contract drawn up on a napkin.
Okay.
That's
It's
all
like,
that went into starting Infectious Records, and I think they put an X in there for street credit. Didn't work. But Infectious Records was just a front
mhm,
for the underground business that was the 90s metal scene in Denver.
sure. No, that's fair. That's fair. Um,
Bill wanted a label to put on his business ventures,
mhm,
and that was Infectious Records.
okay. I was just curious about it because said I don't have a bad word to say about it, but I'm just kind of like, well, great. Where's the CDs coming from Infectious Records?
It was nothing more than a label.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
Thank you for.
just like it was nothing more than label was the wrong word, but if you labeled something, that's what it was. He just
Right.
labeled his business venture as Infectious Records.
Okay. You know, hopefully in time, Bill can kind of establish a little bit more and set a little bit more things straight and all that. And yeah, I would love to hear from Dave Zaharia about his end on his on it because after all, they did pay for advertising for Throw Culture magazine.
He did all the
Yeah.
brutal infliction stuff. I mean, he did a lot of stuff in that. It
Hmm.
was opposite of Rogue. I don't know how Dave and Bill became friends because they were doing the same part. They were both
Hmm.
rhythm guitar in a three-piece band. You
Hmm.
know, there's no
I
room.
another Pinky's memory with Dave Zaharia. One night, Brutal Infliction played Pinky's. And he left behind his guitar, his wireless thing. And I was there that night. I closed and opened, all that. So I knew it was, and he came in. I'm like, here you go. Then basically, right as he left, the mother of the girlfriend he was dating, came in. Somebody saying, "Was that Dave Zaharia?" I'm like, "Yeah, from Bill Fiction. Nice guy. What's the problem?" "He's sleeping with my daughter."
At
I'm
the
like,
time, his wife was so beautiful. I can't believe he was so um, free sexually
oh,
around. She was
right.
beautiful lady.
I would
Um,
love, I'd love for him to set the record straight. I can tell you that.
I love Dave Zaharia.
Uh,
He's a buddy.
mm,
But he rubbed me wrong once.
mm,
He told me I was walked into a show. He was opening up the show, his
mm,
band, and I walked in holding all my gear, Ty, and
mm,
I was like, "Where can I set this down?" He's like, "Anywhere." I said, "Over there." I said, "Well, can you move your stuff, Dave, so I can set my stuff there?" He
mm.
says, "I'll get one of my guys to help you."
Oh boy.
Who do you think you are? Who do you
Right,
think you are, Metallica?
right.
Come on, move your. Move your damn guitar case so I
Say,
can set my amp down.
move it, dude.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just funny stuff. It's just we all thought we were rock stars, brother.
But you know what the thing is? But we had a wonderful little community.
Yeah,
That's why we're here. Because, I don't think there's ever going to be anything like this ever again.
there never will be.
And that's
The
why we're
world
doing
at
this.
that time was perfect.
Right.
um, for
Because
everything that what we were. My all my existence happened in that time period,
mhm.
you know.
Well, remember, it's like we were the last generation to play live music before camera phones and social media started taking over our culture for better or for worse.
I had the first digital camera of anybody in the scene. I had a 1.0 or 1.3 megapixel
Hmm.
digital camera. And I
Right.
was hot shit because I had a digital camera and nobody
Hmm.
knew what a digital camera was.
Right.
Uh, and we went from digital cameras to internet to cell phone videos in the
Hmm.
blink of an eye.
Right. And it's pretty amazing because, and again, another thing is that we weren't the first generation to be introduced to the internet. The boomers can lay claim to that, you know, but
They
it's just
were,
like,
but 60s, 70s internet is not internet now. That
no,
was college
actually,
internet.
let me correct myself here. In terms of us being exposed to the internet for what it was like in the 90s, but like boomers that were in their 40s and 50s at the time, they learned that. That's what I was getting towards.
We were the
Because we
first
were
generation to see boobies
that
on
too,
the internet.
that
So
too.
there, so
Right.
there's that.
So that's going to lead me to my next thing. My next thing is AI. AI in the situation of live music in the year 2100. What do you see happening?
AI is not going away.
No.
It is a uh, a powerful tool that is beyond scope of the amount of change it's creating.
Right.
AI is multiplying in awareness and everything else and functionality by orders of magnitude, factorial
Hmm.
orders of magnitude all the time.
Right.
It is scary, and it's going to shape the next generation, the whole generation.
Hmm.
I'm trying my best to embrace it because it reminds me, Ty, of back in the day when horse and carriage ruled the world
Hmm.
and Henry Ford and Oldsmobile invented the first cars. All of a sudden, the paradigm changed
Hmm.
overnight,
Right.
and you either accepted it or you got left behind.
Right.
AI is not going away.
No.
It is,
I think, all right, AI to me, 75 years from now, will be both used and abused.
yeah,
You know, I would say in terms of its use, I think because, I'm a screenwriter, that's why I'm in Los Angeles, is that AI is really good to do the dirty work in terms of the first draft to get that done first. That way I have
yes,
something to work with instead of having to start from scratch. And I don't really have a problem with AI music wise, at least just introducing an idea to
yes.
expand the mind. But we
If I
need to,
say give me near rhymes
mm,
for the word patio, you
right,
want to rhyme, but you don't want to do direct rhyme scheme. You
mm,
want near rhymes. AI is brilliant.
right,
And AI can do the same thing musically as what you just said for screenwriting, Ty.
hmm,
It can give you the start of an idea, and it's only as smart as you ask it to be.
right,
Try asking AI, how do I approach writing a song, AI,
hmm,
about this? Um, and you got to tell it, AI, I'm a badass songwriter.
hmm,
I'm a professional and I need a song that is current in the views, and I mean, you got to tell it um all of those parameters.
Right.
But it's every internet search you could ever imagine all at
I
once.
No, that makes sense. I would say if let's just say it's the year 2000 and we had AI as it is today, back in 2000, would you have used AI for Rogue?
Boy, that's a great question. I don't believe I would have. I was about the integrity of what we were doing, and I didn't want input from anybody, let alone a damn computer.
Right,
I don't think I would have. I don't know though. If I would have known how powerful the tool was, I might have.
right. I would have said, looking back, if I had the ability, I would have done it to get some song ideas just started, just to have some an idea. Then I would show the guys here, just here's what I have in mind. This is kind of an intro, verse, chorus kind of thing, rawness, and just have something to work with. But I would just limit it at that.
You say that, but that's like saying you have the key to heaven and you're not going to use it.
That's a
It's
fair point. Fair
it's
point.
I dabble. I know the different AI models as well. I use Chat GPT and I use
Mm,
Claude and I use Grok and I
right.
use Gemini. They all provide something a little different, and all they're doing is pulling from stuff that already exists. It's I guess it's akin to a tribute band that you
True.
have talent, but you don't have creativity.
Right.
I don't, it's, boy, that's hard. That's hard. I
Mm,
don't know what to think about it, but it's not going anywhere.
no, it's not. I will say I think AI has one great thing going for it. When our generation gets older over time, like nursing homes, hospice, I think AI has a very good place for that.
Oh, well, we're going to be a scary nursing home generation, Ty.
I know, but
Uh,
I'm looking forward to it.
I say, Too Loud Crew said ho. Your grandma was a hoe.
Mhm. All right. One other thing. Did you see the Black Sabbath finale Back to the Beginning earlier last July?
Yeah. Parts, I didn't watch the entirety of it, but I did watch pieces of it.
Okay. For the record, I do have the entire thing. If you have 25 gig hard drive, I can make it happen.
I have terabytes, my friend.
Okay. Just just so you know, you have a choice. I paid for it, so I don't feel bad, sharing this with old time friends, but how much of it what was more of an influence to you? Black Sabbath or Ozzy solo? Or was it a little bit of both, or was it not at all?
It was melancholy for me.
Hmm.
That's my youth. As
Hmm.
much as we talk about the scene changing and the bars scene changing, seeing the end of Ozzy
Hmm.
live in front of us on stage was sobering. It
Hmm.
was it was a punctuation mark at the end of the paragraph
Right.
of what we all considered sacred and holy in our life.
Hmm.
The Bangles, the Gold Rush, the Isle Park Saloon, that was our life. And to see Ozzy was a metaphor in that concert
Hmm.
for the death of the rock and roll that we know.
Hmm.
I think it was very poignant in its analogy for what the world turned.
Hmm.
Ozzy was done.
Hmm.
To watch him on stage, it was beautiful, it was heartwarming, and
Hmm.
it was the finale. You knew
Okay.
watching that there was no more
Hmm.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Right. I'm of the opinion that night solidified heavy metal was never really a fad. I think it's here to stay, and I think 75 years from now, generations are going to be doing not only listen to it, they're going to be playing it.
Yes. And with AI, it's going to be rehashed 1,000 times, the same
Right,
stuff that was already done.
right.
Ozzy shaped my life. Ozzy
Mm-hmm,
is the soundtrack of, if you were to write the John book,
mm-hmm,
or when I write the John book, the
mm-hmm,
soundtrack is Ozzy Osbourne.
mm-hmm.
It's from Crazy Train, No More Tears, Mr. Tinker Train, just the entire scope of Ozzy, even back to Black Sabbath,
Right.
War Pigs.
All right. I am in a very distinct minority about Ozzy's career. My personal highlight with him that I liked the most was his era with Jake E. Lee.
Brilliance.
I thought
Brilliance.
I thought Jake E. Lee was basically, I will just say, I have nothing against Zach Wild and I have nothing against Randy. Jake was my favorite.
I can see that. Jake's
Yeah.
good. Jake is a tremendous guitar player and
Hmm.
songwriter. Badlands right
Oh,
now is
Badlands was
still
amazing.
in my rotation. The first Badlands album, pardon me, the first Badlands album
Hmm.
is a masterpiece.
Yes, it is. You're
Start to
absolutely
finish,
right.
Ray Gillen, Jake E. Lee, um,
Eric Singer and
Eric Singer, Chef's Kiss.
hmm yeah, right. Prior to Kiss, but the reason I bring that up is because I just, maybe time will honor Jake a little bit better
No,
because you
it
know
won't.
it won't. You're probably right, but I wish it would.
It
I wish.
won't. Jake E. Lee will always be known as the guy that replaced Randy Rhoads.
Well, didn't they have more
Randy,
Brad Gillis?
well, but Brad was only for the Speak of the Devil album.
Right. Yeah, you're
So
right.
Brad was only for a tour.
Right.
Um, Jakey Lee tried to replace a legend. Randy Rhoads is Jimi Hendrix to me, at least
Right.
personally. Randy Rhoads is Eddie Van Halen. Randy Rhoads is just the influential, the building blocks of what heavy metal guitar is. That's Randy Rhoads. Well, Jakey Lee tried to come in and replace
Mm-hmm.
El Padrino, as they
Mm-hmm.
called Bill
Right.
Terrell, El Padrino, the Godfather. That's, you're coming in to replace the Godfather. Jakey Lee got no grace in that transition. He had he was forced to try to be brilliant by day one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair. It's not
It's not
fair.
fair, but I thought he was up to the task, especially with stuff all the Ultimates in. I thought it was brilliant.
He did as good as you could do. I tell you that
Yeah.
much.
Right. Agreed. Let's go ahead and wind us down to home stretch. John, just first off, I want to talk about you and me for a minute because you and I did not really hang out and spend endless hours together and go party and go camping.
I was a
But from
snob.
right, but it's just like when we met at the Blitz Room, just like no one ever rubbed me right the way you did, and it just carried over, you know. And I just remember just, when you had your diagnosis in '02 and you kept going, that was an inspiration for me, you know, and I just, I just, I see a real strength in a man. And I always said, I'm proud to call you a friend for almost 3 decades now.
It's almost 30 years, isn't it, Ty?
Almost. It's
That
almost
was that was November 2000. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
right.
Um, Boy, a lot of life happened
Hmm.
because of that, and a lot of life happened since then.
Right. Any, w- tell me about the relationships in your life because of this, your time in the circuit. What are the relationships that you're really you're proud of, or people you miss, or people you're like, hey, I'd love to see these people again. Nick.
We've talked about it often. Bill Terrell is abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
That was my singer in the band that made me, I don't know if famous is the right word, but that gave me notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
My singer at the time, the front of that band was very abrasive. And I tried my damnedest, Ty, to be the good guy. I
Hmm.
wanted to be
You did it
not
well.
that. I wanted to be friendly. I
You
said
did that too.
often there are a million good people in this world, and I want to be friends with all of them.
Right.
So
Well,
that was my thing is I tried Bill Terrell and I did the good cop, bad cop. I was the good cop.
it
I
worked.
wanted to be non-confrontational. I can get along with the convict as well as I can get along with the guy that goes to church every
Sure.
weekend. And that's what I wanted was to be that guy in Rogue, and that guy in the scene. And it served me well.
Yes, it did.
Often I've put personal relationships, pardon my language, pardon my slur,
Oh yeah.
personal relationships ahead of anything else in business dealings
Sure.
to get to the end of the day and still have the relationship with Ty,
Hmm.
or with Chris Dillinger or with whoever,
Right.
as opposed to have gotten ahead at the short term,
Hmm.
has been worth it for me.
Right.
I've tried to be on the right side of the ledger all the time.
Well, and again, the good cop, bad cop thing with you and Bill, what that also I felt detailed. It started at the Blitz Room, then from that, that April '99 show with you guys, corruption, drudgery, and tread, in that Colorado Metal E-list, we had a community.
Yeah,
And you and Bill were both good cop, bad cop about it. But there's no question that helped build it. I remember when, Bill took over Whiskey Bill's, it was
yeah.
like we conquered. That was that was a great place to be,
We didn't know it is the problem.
right?
Or I guess that's the benefit to it. We didn't know
Mhm.
we conquered, but we
Right,
had it. We had the scene, the Denver scene by the balls.
right. And there's something beautiful. That's something beautiful about that. I would also say just, other relationships, kind of like EA, Devin, Kenny Garza, other bandmates like Colemesis, DAV, old neighbors at the DAV, stuff like that. Anybody stand out?
All of it stands out.
Yeah.
I am blessed. Yeah, holy cow. Devin and EA, I consider to be my brothers still to this
Cool.
day. To spend, I only did 6, 8 years with that version of Rogue.
Hmm.
I don't remember how many years it was, but it's amazing. A couple tours across the country and several albums, how much you can live with people and
Hmm.
how much they become a part of your story, who you are.
Right. That's just flat out amazing. Now, one last question, because you're in a position to know, because you still play out regularly.
Yes.
Has technology in terms of live music, have we made progress, or is it pretty much, it's still up to the musician. The technology can help, like maybe in-ear monitors, stuff like that.
If you're smart enough to use it, it's tremendous. I'm not
Right.
smart enough to use it. There is a wave going on right now of incorporating the computer world into the analog world,
Hmm.
digital and analog intermixed. If you can do it, you're on top of the world right now.
Sure.
I struggle with that,
Hmm.
but it is an exciting time for rock and roll. As much as rock and roll has taken a beating in
Sure.
recent years, it's an exciting time on what you can do with the resources you're given right now.
Talking about that, one last note, I'll let you have last word on it. This is one thing I would like to shout out to Chris Dillinger about. Feel free to relay this message to him. The Wild Goose hosting youth bands. in youth musical programs and education programs,
Yeah,
and letting them play at the Wild Goose, all I gotta say is awesome.
game
That
on. It's
that is game on. Because Dillinger doing that for future generations to come, that's going to furthermore ensure that rock and metal is truly here to stay.
I got to give props to Chris Dellinger right now. He's
Mm,
trying hard to do the right thing for the music scene, the
mm,
music community, and his bar at the same time.
right.
In a world where rock bars are dying at an alarming rate,
Mm,
Ty, I mean,
mm.
um, rock bars are dying. Chris is he's
When we say the
he,
beacon of hope,
the beacon of hope for the
mm,
rock and roll world.
right,
Yeah, do it. Do the School of Rock. Teach
right.
these young kids how to play and how to teach these young kids the thrill of having the volume from an amplifier hold you up on stage when you
Mm,
lean back in the sheer volume in the analog tube guitar brilliance is holding you up. That's a drug you can't get any other way.
that's right. Ain't that the truth? So, on that note, I'm going to stop recording.